Welcome to my video math diary. I hope you find these lessons helpful. Today we're going to talk about multiplying fractions. But before we do that, I want you to think about something. Now you know that when we multiply two numbers, like 3 times 6, that this number is bigger than 1, this number is bigger than 1, and when we multiply the two numbers together, we get an answer that's bigger than this number or this number. No matter what whole numbers we use, we always get a bigger number when we multiply. In this case, the answer would be 18. Now when we multiply a number by 1, let's say 3 times 1, we get 3. And for any number we put in here that we multiply by 1, we get the same number. But when we multiply by a fraction, you can see that the numbers are getting smaller. And if you multiply any number times a fraction, you have to get a smaller number. You need to think about this when you're working your problems. If you get an answer that doesn't look right, if you get an answer that is bigger, then you've done something wrong and you need to go back and check your work. Here we're going to multiply two fractions together. Now multiplying fractions is really easy because what you're going to do is take the numerator times the numerator and the denominator times the denominator. To see how that works, let's take a look at the drawing. Now you can see that here we have 2/5, okay? 1, 2, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 2/5. And we have 3/4. 3/4, 1, 2, 3 out of 4. So we have 3/4. When we multiply 2/5 times 3/4, we get this area right here. Now, if you count all the squares, you'll find there's 20 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And the answer is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 20. Let's see if we get the same answer when we multiply. If you take 2 times 3, you get 6. 5 times 4 is 20. So you see that this is the way we do the problem, but that's really what's happening. Now, if you remember from last year, you never want to leave a fraction like this. You want to simplify it. And we do that by dividing the top number and the bottom number by the same number. Now in this case, you can see you can divide the top number by 2 and the bottom number by 2. And when you do that, you're dividing by 2 over 2, which is 1. And you can divide any number by 1 and you don't change the value. So if we divide 6 by 2, we get 3. If we divide 20 by 2, we get 10. So our final answer would be 3/10. There's something special we can do when we're multiplying fractions, but only when we're multiplying fractions. You can't do this when you're adding, subtracting, or dividing. What I'm talking about is canceling. Let's say you have a problem where you have 3/4 times 2/3. Now we said you multiply the top number times the top number and the bottom number times the bottom number. But sometimes you could end up with some really big numbers. Here's how you can cancel. You see that this 4 and this 2 can both be divided by 2. And we can do that. We take this and we divide by 2, we get 1. We take this 4, we divide by 2, and we get 2. This 3 and this 3 can both be divided by 3. And if we do that, we get 1 and 1. Now we just multiply the numerator times the denominator, and the denominator times the denominator. Let's see if it works without canceling. We would have 3 over 4 times 2 over 3, and we would get 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 3 is 12. And you can see that you can divide the top and the bottom by 6. And if we do that, we would get 1 over 2. It may be easier when you're multiplying the numbers to cancel, but only when you're multiplying. I hope you found the lesson helpful, but if you still have any questions, come see me.